What's up, guys? Joe here from the Ad Lib Podcast, and as those of you who listened to our previous episode know, that we do not have a show this week, but I've got you covered. We don't have a show because Andrea decided that he needed a holiday. You know, teachers, they have it really rough when they get that 3 months off called the summer, and the rest of us have real jobs, so he just decided he needs to take an extra holiday now. But as I said, I've got you covered, and I'm coming to you with a review of The Fall Guy, directed by David Leitch, starring Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. So, roll the clip.
In 3, 2, 1.
So as previously mentioned, The Fall Guy is a 2024 release directed by previous stuntman and John Wick alum David Leitch, starring Ryan Gosling as the Fall Guy himself, Colt Seavers, who after a near career-ending accident gets back into the movie business in order to try and win back his former flame. But then all of a sudden, the line between movie and real life is blurred. So what we have here, guys, is essentially David Leitch writing a love letter to stuntmen and their teams. As a previous stuntman himself, he was a stuntman for Brad Pitt multiple times, he did work on The Bourne Ultimatum, and eventually got into a directing career, and he's always been someone that has championed this line of very, very important and, frankly, impressive work. So aside from this big love letter to the men that ply their trade by throwing themselves downstairs, what do we really have? As I said, we've got the character of Colt Seavers, played by Ryan Gosling, previously injured and out of the game for a little bit, comes back in due to the fact that his former girlfriend is directing a film that he's set to be in, and then he's set with tracking down the very star that he is the body double for because they've mysteriously gone missing. And that's kind of it right there. That's when the movie kind of kicks into its flow, because the opening 10 minutes, I wasn't too sure on this one. The dialogue's a little weak, and it's actually a little bit weak throughout, but more on that later. And it's got a rather odd cadence of which it decides to go at. But once you get into that flow, and once you get into the real plot hook of the film, I found myself finding quite a bit of enjoyment in this, because despite some of the weak writing here and there, there's actually some really funny, clever bits where there's this big whole meta-narrative where it's bringing in real-life references and real-life situations and jokes, and it doesn't feel so much parody and more like homage at the same time, I would say, because it's actually quite cleverly done. And the reason it works is the man himself, Ryan Gosling. The man is cooking here. Like, his comedic timing, his physicality in it, even though he's likely, not doing the stunts, let's be honest. But an actor of Gosling's caliber is just so good at holding the screen and just charisma for days, guys. Like, it's serious. The supporting cast also do a very good job, although I wasn't too sure of Emily Blunt. And I'm still not sure. There's a weird thing going on with her accent a little bit, and I think it's just a little bit of the writing. A little bit of the writing is a little bit strange. But then let's get to the main event of all this. Obviously, David Leitch, ex-stuntman. The stunts are really good, guys. Like, it's just like, and obviously this is someone, he's known for working on like John Wick movies, and then he did Bullet Train. He did a Hobbs and Shaw as well. This is a lot more lighthearted, if you guys are familiar with another Ryan Gosling film, The Nice Guys. Much more along those lines, but just way more bombastic in this way. And it's very lighthearted, it's very fun. No one ever really feels like in danger, I guess. You never think someone's going to die, but you're always enjoying yourself because they're doing these things in as practical a way as possible because that's Leitch's background. And because of that, they're all the more believable and all the more impressive, and they're fun. And that's the main takeaway I had from this film. I had fun. I had a really good 2 hours in a movie theater. And no, it's not perfect. Some of the writing's a little bit messy, but then also some of the meta-narrative, and though that writing is good, I like that part of the film. Some people might have an issue with the main love story in this film and not really buying it, but I think when you've got two people as good as Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, when they're together, they really have a thing. Like, as I said before, Emily Blunt's character is a little bit strange, and the accent and the writing isn't really right, I guess. But when she's with Ryan Gosling, that's when it's the best for her, to be completely honest. But yeah, I won't go into much more detail because I don't really want to spoil anything. You guys know me by now if you listen to the show. I really don't like spoilers. But bottom line is, it's funny, stunts are really good, Ryan Gosling. And I had a good time at the theater, and I'm going to give The Fall Guy 3.5 stars out of 5. As always, be sure to like this video, comment, tell me what you thought of The Fall Guy, I want to know. Tune in every Monday to the Ad Lib Podcast, obviously just not the next coming Monday, as I stated at the beginning of this video, okay? Remember, I did say Andrea's on holiday, he's living the high life. And as always, thank you for tuning in to the Ad Lib Podcast. I've been Joe, and we'll see you soon.